Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Friday, August 21st, 2020. Big show today. I am going to recap last night's NBA draft lottery as well as the playoff games. Look ahead to the weekend's games and same for the Stanley Cup playoffs, Major League Baseball, and the WNBA. We'll go over the current leaderboard at the Northern Trust. We will preview and predict the NASCAR races from the weekend. And my best bet of the day. We'll start with the draft lottery, and your winner was the Minnesota Timberwolves, who had a 12.7% shot at landing the number one overall pick. This is a team that was horrible last year. They traded for D'Angelo Russell to try to make Karl Anthony Towns happy. I think that Anthony Edwards should be their selection at number one if they indeed keep the pick. I think that him and D'Angelo Russell would be an interesting backcourt. And then you have Karl Anthony Towns, and then that would be three foundational pieces for the Timberwolves. So good for them for winning the draft lottery. I predicted the Timberwolves to drop yesterday because I thought that some other teams would move up, but it wasn't the Timberwolves that moved up. They were the lucky ones who wind up winning the draft lottery. So good for them, and it's going to be interesting to see what they do. Maybe they trade the pick, maybe for another veteran, maybe for they move down and somebody else moves up. So it's going to be very, 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 very interesting. So, yeah, Timberwolves get number one. The number two pick is the Golden State Warriors. I thought that they were going to win the pick because I thought that they were going to rig it for them so they can go out and trade it for a superstar. They dropped the two, and I could still see them going out and getting a star too. Maybe they're the team that moves up the one, and then they have a Minnesota flip, and Minnesota gets that pick back for Russell. And they do like a mega trade. If those picks involve maybe Karl Anthony Towns. So, interesting to see what Golden State can do. I think they're the most interesting team in terms of what they should do with their pick. Someone threw out Bradley Beal for them. I think that's unrealistic because to me they need a wing in terms of a forward, not a guard. And they need a big guy. So, unless they go super duper small, maybe Bradley Beal could play the 2 and Clay could play the 3. I throw out Aaron Gordon as a possibility, but I don't think he's worth the number 2. Or he's like, I think that the Magic would win that deal. Although I don't love this draft, but I don't really love Aaron Gordon. So, he, to me, is worth a lottery pick, but not a top 2 pick. Maybe, like, the Cavaliers at 5 would trade 5 for Aaron Gordon. Like, that, I think, is realistic, not Warriors at 2. So, I'm trying to think of, like, who else could possibly, that 2 pick can land. Maybe if they move up the 1 and the Wolves move down the 2 and maybe they do that and then they package that pick to Minnesota for Karl Anthony Towns and the Timberwolves would have the first 2 picks in the draft. So I think that's something that is not inconceivable. A surprise bump up in the lottery, the Charlotte Hornets. They never have lottery luck, but they did this year. I don't know how they got it, but they somehow got the lottery luck this year. They were terrible this year, the Hornets. And they did have some good stretches of good play at home. Devontae Graham had a breakout year for them. They have some nice young foundational pieces. Miles Bridges. I think a good fit for Charlotte at 3 is James Weissman. That's who they should absolutely go with. They need a big guy, and they can build around Weissman, Devontae Graham, and Miles Bridges. So Charlotte was lucky. And then I did predict that this team to move up, the Chicago Bulls, but I had them moving up to 3, not the 4. I had the Phoenix Suns moving up to the 4 spot. So good for the Chicago Bulls. But yeah, let's say Anthony Edwards goes 1, the Warriors trade number 2, and whomever's at 2 picks LaMelo Ball. The Hornets at 3 go with Weissman, and then the Bulls at 4. Can they move down, or does LaMelo drop the 4? To me, they need a guard. I think LaMelo would be good there. I don't see Anthony Edwards falling to 4. I don't think Obi Toppin's the pick for Chicago. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Bulls do with the 4th pick. The Cavs at 5, they, I think, are a loser for falling down to 5. I think that they could have snuck in the top 3 and maybe gotten Anthony Edwards Jr. Anthony Edwards Jr. He's not a junior. There is a junior in the draft, but it's not Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards, I think, would have been a good fit there for a small forward with the 2 guards. Maybe they trade one of the guards. I threw out, in theory, a guard and the pick for Aaron Gordon. Maybe they move down, but the Magic aren't in the lottery. So that would be a big drop for them if it's that pick and either Sexton or Garland to Orlando for Aaron Gordon and the other pick. So that's interesting. I like the idea of Aaron Gordon on the Cavaliers as like a stretch 4. But they have Andre Drummond and they have Tristan Thompson and Kevin Love. So maybe that trade doesn't work out unless they trade Kevin Love. That's the thing. The Atlanta Hawks, to me, are a huge loser, dropping the 6. The Hawks were a team that we're hoping to get into the top 3 to get that guy to go with Trae Young. Anthony Edwards would have been wonderful going back home to Atlanta. Maybe they get a Denny Avdija at 6, which would be a nice fit for them on the wing. So that the Hawks have some options, or maybe they package it for a star. Maybe they're the team that packages their pick and some other assets for Aaron Gordon, but maybe not. The Pistons at 7, they are a team that just needs an overhaul. Like, they already traded Andre Drummond, didn't get a lot back. Maybe they trade the pick in the Griffin contract somewhere for another pick and another bad contract. New York at 8, that's obviously not ideal for them. They could have dropped the 10. It could have been a lot worse for the Knicks. It could have been a lot worse for a lot of these teams that dropped. And Denny Avdija is a guy I would have liked for the New York Knicks, but I think that's unrealistic. Obi Toppin's interesting. Is there a shot that he drops to 8 or 7 or 9? No, the Wizards wouldn't make sense. They already have Rui Hachimura there. But yeah, the Knicks' biggest need for me is a point guard, though. Killian Hayes could be an option at number 8. Maybe Cole Anthony out in North Carolina, who many people are down on due to that injury. And if he wasn't injured, I think he would have been favored to go in the top 5, maybe even top 3. And he looked amazing on the opening night of the season. And I'm like, wow, this guy could be the number 1 overall pick. Maybe they luck out and Cole Anthony sitting there at 8, because I think their biggest need is that point guard. I think it's sort of a good thing for them that they didn't move up, because I think there would have been a lot of pressure to take LaMelo Ball, and I don't think that would have boded well in New York. It would have been just like how Lonzo fared in Los Angeles. The Wizards at 9, I think that's not good for them either. There's some guys I think that were at the top would have been good fits there. Anthony Edwards, I made the case yesterday if Beal was to be dealt, which still isn't a conceivable thought, though. The Suns are at 10. At 11, the Spurs. 12, the Kings. 13 is the Pelicans. And 14 is the Celtics, who have the Memphis Grizzlies pick. And that's an asset that the Celtics can have to go out and possibly acquire that big man that they need. Like maybe Atlanta decides to get rid of Clint Capella and plays John Collins at the 5. And Boston can get Clint Capella for that pick. Just throwing out a hypothetical here. I think the Pelicans are a candidate to trade their pick. I think their biggest need is a small forward. Maybe that's a team that could go out and acquire Aaron Gordon. I just love the idea of Aaron Gordon getting traded because I don't love that fit in Orlando. Maybe Drew Holiday but no, I think that the Pelicans want a lot back for Drew Holiday, and I'd keep Drew Holiday if I'm New Orleans. And in Sacramento at 12, but yeah, I think it's interesting, and I think a lot of trades are in play with some of these lottery picks more than given credit for. And now we'll actually move on to the games from yesterday and look ahead to tonight, or I should say today, and the weekend coming up. Heat over the Pacers 109-100 to take a 2-0 series lead. Duncan Robinson had 24 for Miami. Victor Oladipo 22 for Indiana. Rockets over the Thunder 111-98 to take a 2-0 series lead. James Harden 21 points and 9 assists. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had 31 points. He was brilliant, but Oklahoma City didn't give him much help. Bucks over the Magic 111-96 to even up the series at 1 apiece. Giannis Antetokounmpo 28 points and 20 boards. Nikola Vucevic had 32 points and 10 boards. Lakers over the Trailblazers 111-88 to even up the series at 1 apiece. Dominant defensive performance by the Lakers. And there's a ton of pressure on them. I thought they were the team under the most pressure, them and the Bucks, and both teams and their respective superstars answered the bell. Anthony Davis led the Lakers in scoring with 31 points and 11 boards. And LeBron didn't even need a big game because the Lakers are just so good, especially Anthony Davis. Damian Lillard had his worst game, perhaps of the postseason, 18 points, and he left the game with a dislocated finger. He looks like he's going to be able to play on Saturday night against the Lakers. Friday, or I should say today, 1:30 NBA TV, you have the Raptors and the Nets. Toronto is currently favored in the game by 11 points. The over-under is 219. I have Toronto by 13.5. The over-under I have at 221.5. So I have a 2.5 point edge on the over, and I have a 2.5 point edge on the Raptors. Tough one here. The total looks like it went down because it was like 220 yesterday. I like both Toronto and the over, but in terms of a play, I'm going to go Toronto. I think this was a bounce back cover spot for them. But I did predict that the Nets would win a game in the series. Maybe it is today, maybe it's Sunday. But I'm going to go with the Raptors -11, and I take a stab on the over as well. 4 o'clock, Denver and the Jazz. Denver's favored by 1.5. The over-under is 219. Low number. I wonder if there's an injury, because this is the lowest it's been in this series thus far. Or is it Mike Conley returning that's making the line move? I have to find out if there's any injuries for maybe it is Mike Conley coming back. That's weird. Yeah, so I have a 1 point edge on Denver, but the over-under is 219. I have the projected total 231. Give me the over again. Like, how is the total this low? Like, I get it, Bojan Bogdanovic isn't there for Utah, but really? That's it? That's why the total's that low? So, give me the over in Denver, Utah again. 6:30, the Celtics and the 76ers. I have Boston projected by 6. FanDuel has it at 5.5. Total 217.5 on FanDuel, and I have it at 217.5. Jeez. It's literally identical except for the point spread. Guess I'm forced to take the -5.5. It's only a half point edge, but I'll go with it. And by the way, Denver, Utah, I think Denver wins. But my play there's the over. 9 o'clock on TNT, the Clips and the Mavs. Clippers favorite 5.5 over under 231. I have Clippers by 7.5 over under 234. So I have a 3-point edge on the total and a 2-point spread edge. I'm going to go with the over again. Although I do like the Clippers too. But just to play it safe, I'm going to go with the over as my pick for the game. I think the Clippers will bounce back, but I feel better about the over hitting than I do about the Clippers covering the 5.5, although I won't be surprised if Clippers hits and the over hits as well. Now I'm going to go over the Stanley Cup playoffs. Oh, no. I forgot about the rest of the weekend. So, hold that thought. So, Saturday, TNT, 1 o'clock Bucks Magic. Pacers Heat, 3:30 TNT, 6 o'clock ESPN, Rockets Thunder, 8:30 ABC, Lakers Blazers. In terms of picks for each game, I'm going to go Bucks. I'm just going to pick straight up. Bucks, Indiana, Oklahoma City, and the Lakers. And there are lines out yet. In terms of covers, I'm going to say tough call on Bucks Magic. I'd probably say Orlando. That half point scares me. I think the Pacers covered a 5. I think that OKC wins outright, and I'm going to say Portland covers against the Lakers. And by the way, I don't have my numbers set up for tomorrow yet. So that's why I'm just doing spread picks right there. And then for Sunday, 1 o'clock ABC, Celtics, Sixers. I'm going to say the Sixers win that one straight up. Clippers, Mavs, 3:30 ABC. I'm going to say the Clippers. TNT, 6:30 on Sunday. Raptors, Nets. Maybe I'm going to say that's the game Brooklyn wins to make it interesting, sort of. 9 o'clock TNT, Nuggets, Jazz. I'm going to say that Utah wins that game, as that series will be 2-2. Now we'll go over the Stanley Cup playoff results from yesterday night and look ahead to the rest of the weekend. Islanders over the Capitals 4-0 to advance in Game 5. The number 3 started the game with a goal and 2 assists. Josh Bailey, number 2, started the game with 21 saves on 21 shots. Semyon Varlamov, and the number 1 started the game with 2 goals. Anthony Beauvillier. Stars over the Flames 7-3 to advance. That was a dominant performance by the Stars. 3 goals for Calgary early to go up 3-0. 7 unanswered for Dallas to come from behind and win. That was very impressive as the Flames are eliminated. The number 3 started the game with a goal and 2 assists, Joe Pavelski. The number 2 started the game with a goal and 3 assists, Miro Heiskanen. And the number 1 started the game with 4 goals and an assist, Denis Guranov. Tonight we have 2 games, 7 o'clock NBCSN, the Flyers and the Canadiens. I am going to say that the Flyers close out Montreal tonight finally, as Carter Hart will bounce back and the Flyers will get it done. And then 9:45 NBCSN, you have the Blues and the Canucks. I'm going to say the Blues even this up and force a Game 7. And then Game 7, in theory, would be Sunday night between the Canucks and the Blues. And I'm going to say that the Blues come back and win the series because I had them winning the series. So I think somebody will come back, and I think it will be the St. Louis Blues. So give me the Blues to win the next 2 games, and Philadelphia to win tonight to close out the pesky Montreal Canadiens. Now I'm going to take a look at the Major League Baseball scores from yesterday and look ahead to the rest of the weekend. Blue Jays over the Phillies 3-2 in 7 innings in the doubleheader. The Jays are 11-11, Philly 9-11. Rays over the Yanks 10-5 to pull off the sweep. Tampa 17-9, Yankees 16-9. White Sox over the Tigers 9-0. White Sox 15-11, Tigers 9-14. Astros over the Rockies 10-8. Houston 15-10, Colorado 13-12. Blue Jays over the Phillies 8-9 in 7 innings in Game 2. The Jays are 12-11. They're over 500 now. Philly 9-12. Indians over the Pirates 2-0. Indians 16-9. Pittsburgh 4-17. Twins over the Brewers 7-1. The Twins are 17-9. Milwaukee 11-12. Dodgers Mariners 19-8. Seattle 8-19. Red Sox over the Orioles 7-1. Red Sox 8-18. Baltimore 12-13. Padres over the Rangers 8-7 in 10 innings on a walk-off single by Jace Cronenworth. San Diego 15-12. Texas 10-14. Cardinals over the Reds 5-4. Cards 7-7. Cincinnati 10-13. Athletics over the Diamondbacks 5-1. A's 18-8. Arizona 13-13. Giants over the Angels 10-5. So best bet hits again with the over. The Giants did it by themselves actually. They're 11-16. The Angels are 8-18. Mets Marlins postponed because a Mets player and a Mets coach tested positive for COVID-19, which is forcing the first game of the Subway Series to be postponed. I think the whole Subway Series will be postponed, and maybe they do a doubleheader on Monday and a doubleheader on the 27th, and then maybe one doubleheader when they meet in Yankee Stadium. And hopefully this COVID thing is not like a big deal. Maybe it's similar to the Reds. That's hopefully the model here, where the Reds, it didn't even take a week for the Reds to return. It took maybe 3 days, and then there's a precautionary day. Yeah, best case scenario, this is a Reds situation, not a Marlins-Cardinals situation, so we'll see. 6 o'clock MLB Network, Marlins-Nationals, Daniel Castano and Patrick Corbin. 6:40 Blue Jays-Rays, Matt Shoemaker and Ryan Yarbrough. 7 o'clock Brewers-Pirates, Adrian Hauser, Chad Cole. 7 o'clock as well, Phillies-Braves, Aaron Nola, Max Fried. Tigers-Indians, Michael Fulmer, Adam Pluko. Red Sox-Orioles at 7:30, Colton Brewer and John Means. 8 o'clock ESPN, White Sox-Cubs from Wrigley Field, Dallas Keuchel, John Lester. The White Sox are playing really well right now. And this is a similar situation as Rays-Yankees the other day, where you would say to yourself, the wrong team's favored here, because you're going to be thinking that the Cubs should be favored because they're home and whatnot. I learned my lesson from the other day, I think. So I'm going to say the White Sox win this game, and Vegas knows. So give me the White Sox, the red-hot Chicago White Sox, to get the win here on the road. Twins-Royals, Jake Odorizzi and Danny Duffy. 8:15 Reds-Cardinals, Anthony DeSclafani and Dakota Hudson. Astros-Padres at 9 o'clock, Lance McCullers Jr. and Garrett Richards. Rangers and the Mariners, Colby Allard and Nick Mergavicius. 9:40 Rockies-Dodgers, John Gray and Walker Buehler. Angels-Athletics, Andrew Heaney and Mike Fiers. Diamondbacks-Giants, 9:45 on Fox Sports 1, Robbie Ray and Logan Webb. I hate this pick because I'm just dreading it, because this pitcher's underachieved and this team is underachieved. I'm going to go with the Diamondbacks to bounce back. This is a get-right spot for them. Giants have won a couple in a row against the Angels, so I think the Giants will suffer a loss here, and Arizona will get the win. So give me Robbie Ray and the Diamondbacks here on the road at San Francisco. Saturday, 4 o'clock Fox Sports 1, Brewers-Pirates, Josh Lindblom, Derek Holland. I'm going to say that Pittsburgh pulls off an upset here and knocks off the Brewers. Game 1 doubleheader, Marlins-Nationals, Alicia Hernandez, Max Scherzer. Angels-Athletics, Griffin Canning, Chris Bassett. Blue Jays-Rays, 6:40, Hyunjin Ryu, and we don't know who's going for Tampa. 7 o'clock, Orioles hosting the Red Sox, Martin Perez and Alex Cobb. Twins-Royals, Randy Dobnak, Brady Singer, Fox Sports 1. I'm going to go with another upset. I'm going to go with the Royals. I love Brady Singer. That guy is going to be the ace for the Royals, or one of the aces of that team for years to come. Dobnak's been great this year too, but I like the upside of Singer, and I think that's going to be potentially a 2-1 underdog on Saturday night. So I'd take the Royals there. In case they play Yankees-Mets, Jay Happ, Seth Lugo. Phillies-Braves, Zach Wheeler, Robbie Erlin. Tigers-Indians, Matt Boyd and Tristan McKenzie. Tristan McKenzie's a promising young prospect. He's making his big league debut. 8:15 White Sox-Cubs, Dylan Cease and Kyle Hendricks. That's a nice pitching matchup there. And it's funny because Cease obviously was a Cubs prospect who came with Eloy Jimenez in the deal for Jose Quintana. Reds-Cardinals, Wade Miley and Kwang Hyun Kim. Rockies-Dodgers at 9 o'clock, Kyle Freeland and Dustin May. Astros-Padres, Brendan Bialik and Zach Davies. That's a nice pitching matchup. Rangers-Mariners, Jordan Lyles and Justice Sheffield. I hope to bet the over in that game once that comes out. And at 9:15, Diamondbacks-Giants, Zach Gallen. And we don't know who's going for San Francisco. Sunday, 1 o'clock I skipped one. 12:30, Marlins-Nats, Pablo Lopez and Anibal Sanchez. 1 o'clock, Red Sox-Orioles. Zach Godley, Wade LeBlanc. 110 TBS in case it happens. Yankees, Mets. Jordan Montgomery and Rick Porcello. Tigers, Indians. Tariq Skubal and Carlos Carrasco. Blue Jays, Rays. We don't know who's going for Toronto, and Blake Snell's going for Tampa. 1:30 Brewers, Pirates. Corbin Burns, JT Brubaker. 2 o'clock Twins, Royals. Kenta Maeda and Chris Bubic. Reds, Cardinals at 2:15. Tyler Mahle and Daniel Ponce de Leon. White Sox, Cubs at 2:20. Gio Gonzalez and Yu Darvish. 4 o'clock ESPN, the Astros and the Padres. Zach Greinke, we don't know who's going for San Diego. I'm going to pick the Astros in this one. We don't know who's going for San Diego. It's not Paddock or Dinelson Lamet, as far as I'm concerned, or Mackenzie Gore. So give me Houston to get the game on the road. Rockies, Dodgers. Antonio Senzatella and Ross Stripling. Angels, Athletics. Dylan Bundy and Frankie Montas. Diamondbacks, Giants, Luke Weaver, Trevor Cahill. Rangers, Mariners, Mike Minor and Justin Dunn. That's another I'd bet the shit out of the over game. And Sunday Night Baseball, Phillies, Braves at 7 o'clock on ESPN. Zach Eflin and Josh Tomlin. I like Atlanta. Tomlin's pitched well for them. He's kind of revitalized his career a little bit. So give me Josh Tomlin to get it done against the Phils in that one. Now I'm going to go over the WNBA from yesterday and look ahead to the weekend. That's going to be an interesting weekend for them. Sky over to Liberty, 101-85. The Sky are 9-4, Liberty 111. Arusa Stevens, 25 for Chicago. Jasmine Jones, 18 for New York. Fever over to Storm, 90-84. Fever 5-7. Seattle 11-2. So Seattle loses. So I guess that was a trap game. Kennedy Burke, 23 points. Jewel Lloyd, 35. Aces over to Sun, 99-88. The Aces are 9-3. Connecticut 5-8. Kayla McBride at 25. Alyssa Thomas at 15. Tonight's slate, 7 o'clock, Sparks, Dream. Sparks 8-3, Dream 2-10. 8 o'clock, Mystics, Wings. Mystics 4-7, Wings 4-8. 10 o'clock, CBS Sports Network. Lynx, Mercury. Lynx 8-3, Mercury 6-6. I'm just gonna keep fading the Lynx. They're surprisingly really good, but the Mercury are a team that needs to get going. They're better than the Lynx, so I'm gonna go with the Mercury here to get a big win to go above 500 on the year. Saturday night, 3 o'clock, ABC, Storm Aces. That's a really good game. I'm going to pick Seattle. I just can't see them losing back-to-back games. 5 o'clock, CBS Sports Network, Fever, Sky. I'm going to go with Chicago. I think Indiana has a letdown after the win over Seattle. And then 7 o'clock, CBS Sports Network, the Liberty and the Sun. The Liberty's lone win came against the Sun, but I don't think they're going to get it done here. So give me the Sun to get a revenge on the Liberty from earlier in the year. Sunday, 3 o'clock on ABC. You got the Storm. Or I'm sorry, that was the Saturday schedule, but no national games on Sunday. 4 o'clock, the Dream and the Lynx. 6 o'clock, the Wings and the Sparks. And 8 o'clock, the Mercury and the Mystics. Now I'm going to go over the current leaderboard at the Northern Trust. It's been an interesting tournament so far, to say the least. Currently, your leader, Cameron Davis, with 10 under. Tied for second, Danny Lee, Saiwoo Kim, and Kevin Strelman, 9 under. Tied for fifth with 8 under, Bubba Watson, Kevin Kisner, and Russell Hanley. Tied for 8th with 7 under, Harry English and Charles Howell III. Tied for 10th with 6 under, Lewis Olson, Adam Scott, Tommy Fleetwood, Charlie Hoffman, and Scott Piercy. Tied for 15th with 5 under, I'm just going to do notables because I'm running out of time here. Danny Berger, Tyler Gooch, and Ryan Palmer. Tied for 25th with 4 under, Dustin Johnson, Ricky Fowler, Dylan McCarthy, Mackenzie Hughes, Kevin Na, Scotty Scheffler, and Victor Hovland. Tied for 37th with 3 under, Chesser V, Joaquin Neiman, Justin Thomas, Tiger, Mark Hubbard, Tyler Duncan, John Rahm, Zach Johnson. Tied for 59th with 2 under, Adam Landry, Patrick Cantlay, Gary Woodland, Rory McIlroy, Dylan Fratelli, Jordan Spieth, Justin Rose, Paul Casey, Xander Schauffele, Adam Schenk. Tied for 75th with 1 under, Jason Day, Adam Hadwin, Webb Simpson, Brendan Todd, Patrick Rogers, Luke List. Tied for 87th with an even score, Colin Morikawa, JT Potson, Harold Varner III, Phil Mickelson, Hideki Matsuyama, Patrick Reed, Lucas Glover, Shane Lowry. Tied for 99th with 1 over, Henrik Norlander, Abraham Ancer, Tony Finau, Bryson DeChambeau. Tied for 106 with 2 over, Doc Redman. Tied for 113th. I'm sorry, this person's in 118th alone, Sanjay Im. In the tie for 119th with 6 over, Matt Fitzpatrick. So there's your notables for the Northern Trust, and obviously we'll go over how the tournament plays out on the podcast on Monday. Now I'm going to go over the NASCAR races for the weekend, and we will make picks for them, starting with the Truck Series. And this weekend they'll be racing from Dover. Brett Moffitt, Sheldon Creed, Austin Hill, Matt Crafton, Raphael Lester, Tyler Ankrum, Zane Smith, Grant Effinger, Christian X, Ben Rhodes, Stuart Friesen, Tanner Gray, Parker Kligerman, Austin Wade Self, Johnny Sauter, Derek Kraus, Todd Gilliland, Tate Fogelman, Spencer Boyd, Carson Hostvar, Ty Majeski, Spencer Davis, Chandler Smith, Tim Veens, Jordan Anderson, Sam Mayer, Norm Benning, Bailey Curry, Jennifer Jo Cobb, Timmy Hill, J.J. Yeley, Bryant Barnhill, Clay Greenfield, Tyler Hill, Brian Dawzak, and Dawson Cram. In terms of a pick, I'm going to go with... I'm going to take a shot here at Christian X. He's been racing very well in the Truck Series of late. I'm going to pull up DraftKings right now to see what he is. DraftKings normally does a good job with its NASCAR odds. That's actually the race that's the second race. The nationwide race is before the trucks. X is plus 450, so didn't realize that he was one of the favorites here. So I'm gonna go with Christian X in the KDI Office Technology 200. And now the Xfinity starting lineup for Dover. On Saturday afternoon, I didn't realize that the Xfinity was before the trucks. Austin Cindric, who's been red hot, Noah Gragson, Brandon Jones, Harrison Burton, Justin Allgaier, Riley Herbst, Jeremy Clements, Michael Annett, Ryan Sieg, Chase Briscoe, Myatt Snyder, Jesse Little, Ross Chaston, Tommy Joe Martin, Stephen Licht, Bailey Curdy, BJ McLeod, Josh Williams, Alex Labb, Kyle Weatherman, Brendan Brown, Justin Haley, Joe Graff Jr., Cody Vanderwall, Matt Mills, Anthony Alfredo, Jeb Burton, Brett Moffitt, David Starr, Jeremy Earnhardt, Corbin Forrester, Stephon Parsons, Colby Howard, Chad Fincham, Vinnie Miller, and Timmy Hill. I'm going to fade Austin Cindric. I'm going to fade him for a while because he's just been too red hot. In terms of pick here, I'm going to go with Chase Briscoe. That's somebody that he's actually co-favorite with Austin Cindric at plus 225. Oh, well. So I'm going to go Chase Briscoe to win the Dryden 200 on Saturday afternoon. And now the Cup Series starting lineup for Sunday afternoon at Dover. So your starting lineup, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex Jr., Clint Boyer, Joey Logano, Jimmy Johnson, Brad Keselowski, William Byron, Kurt Busch, Kevin Harvick, Alec Bowman, Chris Buescher, Eric Jones, Matt DiBenedetto, Michael McDowell, Tyler Riddick, Eric Almirola, Chris Bell, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Ryan Blaney, Cole Custer, Kyle Busch, Ryan Newman, Bubba Wallace, Ty Dillon, Matt Kenseth, Ryan Preece, Daniel Suarez, Corey LaJoie, Brendan Poole, John Hunter, Nemechek, Austin Dillon, Timmy Hill, J.J. Yealy, Quinn Houff, Reed Sorensen, Josh Bilicki, Joey Gase, Garrett Smithley, and B.J. McLeod. In terms of a pick, this is tough. I'm going to go with somebody that I think is just due to win a race. He's raced very well this season. And I just have a feeling that this is his weekend. I'm going to go Joey Logano at 15-1. That's crazy. I was going to go Truex, but he's 4-1, and I took favorites in the first two races. So I'm going to go with Joey Logano 15-1 to win the NASCAR Dryden 311 at Dover. And actually that race is Saturday at 4:15. So, is this a double header? I wonder. I'm going to double check and make sure this isn't a double header for Cup. And by the way, the truck race is tonight and not tomorrow. And there is a back-to-back for Cup at Dover. So I'm going to go Joey Logano in race 1, and Martin Truex Jr. in Dryden, and then the race 1 I'm going to go Logano, race 2 I'm going to go Truex. I didn't realize that Sprint was doing a double, or Cup Series was doing a double header, but that should be fun. All right, last best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. Hinted at it earlier. Taking my baby, and that baby is the Utah-Denver over again. Really did me well the other day and on Monday. So, again, jumping on the bandwagon again. The number went up from where I got it last night. I got it at 218.5. It's 219. I still love it. So give me the over in the Jazz Nuggets game for Friday afternoon. So that's it for the podcast today. I'll be back on Monday recapping everything from the weekend, from the NBA and Stanley Cup playoffs, baseball, WNBA, NASCAR, golf, and any other news that happens in the world of sports. I'll have it for you as well. Hope you guys have a great weekend, everyone.